and has meaning. Each moment is meant to be experienced and cherished. Welcome to Anxiety Simplified Podcast. I'm Joanne Williams, and I'm going to share ways to refocus this anxiety energy to a more productive and effective way to go through life. You already have all the tools. I'll just remind you how to use them. We'll be tuning into your own power to choose and find more joy and peace. Let's get started remembering this wisdom.
Well, hello everyone. Joanne Williams here, and for Anxiety Simplified and Anxiety Simplified podcast on YouTube. So, today we're going to talk about how do you know you're living a great life? So, we're going to discuss that, and it is from an article by Barry Davret from medium.com. But really, think about it. Does happiness and living a great life only include material things that other people see? Or is there more to this? And 10 things that you are doing that would show if you are living the great life. So, have you noticed your mood lately and where your mind goes when you listen to the news or listen to someone with a different perspective? Does this help you to live a better life or happier life? We're going to explore this right now. And do you listen to your own self talk? Or is that just too woo woo for you and don't think it helps? Or think it's only crazy people that listen or talk to themselves? Well, I'm going to tell you that's not true. It's really important to listen to your own self talk. But I'm going to ask you to really start to notice and listen what is going on beyond your obvious thoughts, because they do become invisible unless you listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying to yourself. Are you kind and positive like a good friend would say to you? Or are you saying very critical things with judgment and critical messages that really sound like like old teachers or parents or somebody that really told you you're never going to amount to anything? What do you think, you're kidding? Kind of negative thoughts. So let's look at 10 things that keep you away from your own happiness or satisfaction. Most people are not feeling satisfied or even hopeful to ever feel happy like they did when they were a child, looking up from, the grass at the clouds going by and dreaming and using their imagination to the possibilities and looking at the unknowns. The unknowns used to be a wonderful thing. What happened? Pressures at work, family, old thought patterns that are ingrained and invisible coming back to haunt you, or just resigning yourself to just living the way you are. Nothing's going to change. Can you hear the despondency in that? All right, number one, do you measure your self worth, how much your income is, your job title, possessions, or zip code? And even like my client that I'm going to describe that is a successful professional, that is living that life that everyone would say is wonderful, just got promoted, got a brand new house, big, beautiful house they just designed, and really living the way they wanted to. And yet she's crying to me and feeling depressed, unworthy, unhappy, unsatisfied. And she doesn't feel like her husband is paying attention to her or listening to her. And if we look from the outside, most people would say, wow, she's in this gorgeous house. She just got the perfect job, the raise she always wanted, making all the money she wanted, and she's crying to me. So let's look at this a little bit more, because what I've seen is that when she hit some of these targets, but it didn't make her any happier. And most times When I wanted something, I really craved something bigger, better, boat, house, and you get it, it just doesn't feel like it fills anything inside you. And actually leaves an emptiness that you just strive for something else, more clothes, more shoes. It just never feels like you've gotten enough and that this is not the answer. Number two, do you stick with your passions? Make a character commitment. Like my favorite quote from Joseph Campbell. You've heard me say it before if you're a listener. Follow your bliss. Following your bliss, you put yourself on a track that has been there all along, waiting for you to use as your guiding star. I love that one. I have never found anything more true, and I've used it in my life to build an awesome life. And you have to have an inner wisdom and to know who you are and what you do best and know when it feels right. And your head even knows it. You can't deny it. And it's like you have to believe your heart, though, if you can't admit it. I think our brain really needs to be in our heart and believe our heart. Make a pledge to yourself to do something every day forever that defines your character and individuality to grow and live your own passion. Mean it and do it. It does feel right when you do it. Number three, do you recognize your mistakes and take responsibility for them and change your responses next time so that in the future this is no longer a mistake? It's just a life lesson that you'll grow from and experience and try things so that you'll see if it fits or not. It's okay. Try some new things. It isn't a mistake if you learn from it. What is your true passion? Or do you feel like you just get embarrassed at your past? Maybe that shows your growth instead. Be proud of it. Look back. Where'd you come from? Embarrassment is part of shame, which is a deeper lack of self-worth. So look beyond that. What have you done, even if you stumbled and fell? Did you pick yourself back up, learn from it, moved on, and felt better in the future because of it? Do you take regular inventory of where, number four, you take regular inventory of where you are and what is it that you really want to do so that you don't have regrets at the end of your life that sometimes might come earlier than you think? Time really is a reminder to get things done so that you don't need to regret. Celebrate your achievements instead, and then they will be remembered. When you celebrate them with pride and accomplishment, it will feel you're proud of yourself. An extraordinary person sees a situation as an opportunity to grow. They accept that some of what they believe today will be superseded by what they've learned and used for tomorrow. Number five, can you admit that you're wrong or evaluate your position that may have changed as you mature? You know family and friends who cling to outdated views long since proven untrue, yet they lack the maturity and courage to admit they're wrong. As Dr. Phil says, would you rather be right or happy? Can you show your open-mindedness and humility as a strength? Some of the greatest gifts happen when you are open and even allow for and greater happiness. Number six, do you always make others feel joy or inspired or grateful that you're around them and remain neutral the rest of the time? Then you're a net positive. That makes you an asset to the world. Or are you someone nobody really wants to be around, even if they don't tell you that? Even if you are right most of the time. Humility and listening to someone with true interest and staying with what somebody else talks about becomes a truly invested conversation. Some of the best feelings about a person in a conversation with you are when you talk with somebody who is truly interested in hearing your opinion and respecting it without wanting something back from you. Do you do that? Or are you just in a hurry to get your point across? It's about me, me, me. Think about it in your conversations. Number 7, do you take 100% responsibility for your own actions and the results of your life choices? I was looking for the book and I really couldn't find it. The 20-Second Miracle. It was about taking 100, and when you take 100% responsibility for your life, everything changes in that moment. It is a miracle because you no longer blame anybody for anything that's happened to you, and you take 100% responsibility for everything that has happened now or in the future. And that way you take control back of your owning your own life again. This is one of the most powerful things you can do. Start to practice that today. Because the opposite of the coin from blaming is taking responsibility. That way you can own it and empower yourself and stop being angry because you're not blaming anybody anymore for anything that's happened to you in your life. Number 8, do you use emotions as your internal guidance system? If not, you are not using emotional intelligence or EQ. Knowing that emotions are half of your brain. One side is logic of math, science, analytics, and the other side is emotions, art, imagination. When you learn ways to use both sides of your brain, you are in the geniuses of the world category. Michelangelo, artist and architect. Leonardo da Vinci, artist. And the inventor of the parachute, calculator, helicopter, 500 years ago. Emotions, though, are a learned skill when you know how to use both sides. You learn how to use them to your benefit and make the best in your decision making when you use logic and emotions, but it is learned. Number 9, are you curious? Curiosity is the gap between what you know and what you want to know, and imagining between what can be. Taking action to choose that gap will fulfill you in a way that external rewards never will. All of us harbor curiosities that learn for exploration. Don't suppress them. Look from a child's perspective at something that new that you want to do. Take some time for this. Imagination time to just be curious about an outcome. If you have dedicated a portion of your life to explore curiosities, congratulate yourself because you are living a life well lived. And continue this. It will bring happiness and a great life lived. Number 10, have you given up on conditional happiness? Here's an idea that to achieve happiness, you must meet specific outcomes in your life. I'll be happy when I reach this amount of income. I'll be happy when I'm promoted to this position. I'll be happy when I find this romantic partner. Always in the future, never in the now. How about feeling fulfilled and satisfied now? The notion of conditional happiness is the shortest path to misery. Intellectually, you know that in your 20s, even. But to believe it and live it, you need to have some experience. Maybe experiencing the disappointments that stem from valuing a worth based on life outcomes. For me, that realization started to come in my 40s. If you've accepted that contentment does not depend on getting that promotion, scoring that obscene income, or whatever targets you can't seem to hit, and you've passed your 40th birthday, or really looking at becoming more of a well-adjusted, maybe satisfaction is enough. Feel okay. I do think that maturity does come with age and experience, but I realize that living an extraordinary life has nothing to do with your job title, bank account, or how much fame you've achieved. Like my client, if you don't know until you're there that this isn't satisfying, but you still have to get there to experience it, and you can see that it really doesn't make you feel any better, adjust. Make a new choice to feel happy in wherever you are, whatever you're doing, no matter what. Like Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss and it will take you to happiness. I do see that the simpler things in life brings the most happiness, contentment with having enough, being satisfied with whatever. Satisfaction with your accomplishment. It doesn't mean you don't need to achieve more or will. Just feel okay where you are in the skin you're in. You are never finished. And I think we think there is a finish line somehow, and we must get over it to feel like we're living the good life. When you feel accomplished because you have given to yourself, you have accomplished some goals, and to your family, you are a good parent, husband, wife, father, mother, or good child to a parent. And to society, you are volunteering or you do give on a regular basis. Why aren't those enough? Finding what helps you to feel what is enough is the finish line in realizing a good life. Then declare it is enough. Give to yourself first, and then you have more to give to others, and that's where the satisfaction is. And you know you're living the good life. If you feel that maybe even having a pet or a dog in your life helps you to find the joys in the moment and more satisfied, you know that's what I do, is to certify people to have a legal emotional support animal, ESA. You can find out more at esapros.com. And I hear it all the time. Animals are life-changing. And check out our other podcasts about living that good life, or how to prepare to make sure you have everything you need. And leave a comment in Facebook. We love to hear that. All for now. And make sure you continue to find and live that good life. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening. Please support our podcast by rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Please, to show your support. And remember to use and practice a skill we shared today to feel the joys of life. Remember, you can always call us 760-485-6784 for that free 10-minute consultation where we can discuss your next step. Or you can go to our website at anxietysimplified.net for more on how to get certified for an emotional support animal today. And remember to share the love.